Welcome to the Fox 17 Rock and Review. My special guest today, Beth Hart, Grammy-nominated artist, also several blues awards.
Yeah.
You've got some huge fans with that. You've done albums with Jeff Beck, toured with Jeff, 2 albums with Joe Bonamassa, and now your solo albums. You know, one of the neatest things I found out about you, Beth, is that you started out on Star Search.
Yeah.
Back in the 90s.
Yeah, when I was 19.
And now you've got this huge solo career now that you're 23. And it's just an incredible thing with this new album, you know.
I love you.
You know, it's like Better Than Home. You and I were talking off camera, but it's like from hearing you, you know, when I saw you live out in Vegas, your voice was great then, but it seems like it's matured.
Yeah, something weird happened in my later 30s, like around 37, 38. My low end really dropped down. And it was funny because all these years, I've always loved performing live, but in the studio, I just hated hearing how high end my voice was. I just didn't like it. But I loved the performing part. But then for some reason, I don't know, 37, 38, I guess it's not that uncommon. As you get older, sometimes your low end will come in more.
Right.
And I was like, wow, I really started loving recording in the studio because my voice wasn't so annoying to me.
Well, I thought your voice was never annoying when I saw you, you know, with Jeff Beck and everything. And it was a nice counterpoint to Jeff's incredible guitar playing in your voice. You know, it's like when I saw you at the Hard Rock there in Vegas, and it was like, wow.
Yeah.
But, you know, on the new album, Better Than Home, you know, it's just a lot of great tracks on there.
Thank you.
You know, and you wrote all of them?
Yeah, all the songs are written. Yeah.
That's incredible. And I know Mechanical Heart that you wrote for your husband.
Yes, and also there's a song on there called Living in the City, which also chronicles Scott and our many years together. I've been with him since I was 27.
Wow.
I'm 44 now, so we've been together a long time.
See, you're holding up really well.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Now let's talk about, you know, the recent tracks with Jeff Beck also. You guys were just on Jules Holland.
Yeah, we just did Jules Holland together, which was a lot of fun. For those that you don't know, it's a pretty big time show in Europe, and Jules Holland is an amazing jazz pianist. He can do anything, but he's really skilled in jazz, and he always has tons of musical guests on the show. That's what the show's all about. So we were invited to do his New Year's Eve bash that he does once a year, of course, obviously, because it's New Year's Eve. And so I got to have Jeff with me on there, and Jeff is so beautiful and lovely, and he would work so hard backstage working out this solo for the song. And when it was all over, after we taped that night, we'd ask him, hey, would you maybe consider doing it for the reissue of Better Than Home album? Yeah. And he said, absolutely. So, so he did a brilliant job, and he's one of my favorite friends in the world. He's such a wonderful man and an artist.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Well,
obviously.
And I know, you know, with you and Joe Bonamassa as well, you know, with doing 2 albums with him, and you guys are looking at doing another album together.
Yes, we are. Yep, that'll be coming up.
So you think that'll come together in the next year or so, maybe?
Yes, I do. I think it definitely
will. Well, you know,
will.
so many great cuts, like I said, on the album, but, you know, eventually you have to get off the road and you're not touring.
Yes.
And you've got a few nice hobbies,
I
understand.
Talk about,
you know, like like cooking, fishing, gardening.
Yes.
And you know,
painting.
And
I love painting.
So this is some of the stuff you do when you're not out making great music.
It is. You know, it's weird because when I'm out on the road and I'm touring, I don't feel nervous really at all to socialize and be out amongst people. I love it.
Yeah.
But when I'm at home, I get really scared to leave the house. I just don't like leaving the house. I get really neurotic. So I spend most of my energy cooking or gardening.
Or cleaning.
Painting or cleaning, which I don't know what it is about cleaning, but I love it. It relaxes me. So that's the kind of stuff I do, I'm a homebody.
That is so neat. Now, does that sort of, you know, as you've gotten into writing so much of your own material now and all of this current album, does that sort of help get you in the right place to write more too?
I just go in and out of spells of songwriting. I have always gone out as well and done co-writing, which I think is fantastic, and sometimes you can get great pieces, but I always learn when I write with other writers. That's one of my favorite things.
Oh, yeah.
But there is something about when you can write on your own. To me, it's very much like going to a church.
Right.
It's a total spiritual connection, and it's a way. It's almost like the piano's the altar, and I get to go there and I get to ask God, hey, I'm really going through something difficult. I can't figure it out. Will you help me figure it out? And I almost feel like the angels and everybody kind of come in, and then they kind of come through my hands and they help me figure out and answer whatever these questions are. So it's a very spiritual experience for me. So yeah, I mean, this last record, it wasn't planned that I was going to write the whole record alone at all.
Right.
I usually have at least 30, 40 songs ready for every record anyway.
Oh, yeah.
But the two producers I worked with, one who has passed, who was so brilliant, Michael Stevens, and then Rob Mathis, they produced the record. But it was Michael Stevens' idea to say, I want this to be incredibly personal, very personal. So I turned in stuff that I'd written alone, and then I also turned in stuff that I'd co-written with other great writers that I've worked with. But it just happened to be coincidence that it happened to be the stuff that I'd done alone. So it wasn't like a planned thing.
Right.
But I think it made sense because it just made it extremely personal.
Well, and I think you can hear it in the depth of the lyrics and in how you deliver the lyrics also, that it feels very, very personal.
Thank you. Yes, it is.
And so that's going to be a re-release this year, right?
Yes.
Awesome. And then
Yes.
working on new music.
Yes, I've already made another record. We're just
Wow.
waiting, until we finish off with Better Than Home. And
Wow.
yeah.
Well, and you're so huge in Europe, and I know like Europe and New Zealand and everything. We were talking, off camera, to where I'd read articles to where you sold out another venue there in Europe and everywhere. It's like, that's a great following.
Yeah, I love Europe, and it's been so good to me. I didn't really tour the States because I didn't have a record deal here for years. I'd kind of messed up my career in my late 20s pretty badly here due to drugs and alcohol. So when I started over again, Europe was there, and New Zealand was there.
Yeah.
And then through the years,
And they love you.
and they've been really kind to me. But it took work. I had to start all over again from scratch. And then about 5 years ago, my label opened up a label here in the States. So then now it's like I'm getting to tour the States
It's
again.
the whole circle.
And just I really today, and this is the honest to God truth, I really believe that I'm right where I'm supposed to be.
Totally.
So, having huge success or not having any success, it doesn't matter. What
Right.
matters is just waking up, being alive, being healthy, and doing what you love with the people you love to do it. And that's it.
Yeah.
The rest is just all gravy.
Well, and I think the music showed it. Now, what is your website?
BethHart.com.
BethHart.com. So that's where everybody
Very
can keep
simple.
up with the tours. Now, is that the best place to buy the album too, or to find out at least when it's re-releasing this year?
I don't know.
We'll have to
the
find out.
answer, you guys? You guys know. Okay.
Yeah. So Scott says that's fine. So to be sure and check out the website
I'm
to
not
find
a
out
big
when
businesswoman.
the new album is re-released,
Yeah.
and also the one you've already got cut that's going to be
Yes.
coming out within the next year or so.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that one.
Well, I'll tell you what, you're such an incredible talent, and I
you.
love your albums, but also you're a great live performer too.
Thank you.
So be
You're
sure.
so sweet to me.
Yeah, see? You got to come see Beth live. You got to see Beth Hart live in a show, doing her solo stuff now. Better Than Home is the new album, and she's got another new one coming out within the next year. And I hope you come back and join me again.
I absolutely will. You're a doll.
Oh,
you
thank
just
you
made
so
me
much.
so happy today. Thank you
You
so
were
much.
the sweetest.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching The Rock Interview.